Нехай заработало. Okay. So yeah, let's start. People will join. What we are talking about today? Healthy lifestyle and habits, simple practices for the day. It's part one. And topic of the day is chronological and biological age, sedentary lifestyle, and cardio training to improve lifespan. Let's talk first about types of age. Basically, there are two different types: chronological age and let's have a look at some example. For example, there are two people, both chronological age is the same, 50 years old, the same school, the same class, yeah, so the same age. First, sleep well, exercise regularly, have good nutrition, almost no alcohol or no alcohol at all, so don't drink, he's in shape and takes care of his health. And another one has a poor sleep, slightly overweight, eat a lot of processed food, do no activity, and don't drinks, and stuff like that. So doesn't care about his health much. And yeah, what the difference will be that one first person biological age could be a bit younger than his chronological age, so like 40, 45, for example, and second person chronological age, biological age could be about 60, I would say, yeah. So it could be quite different, and that's all only because of their habits. So their bodies feel quite different just of because their lifestyle. Exercise is like brushing your teeth. You need it for health, as you pick brush and do space you like. Pick type of exercise and activity you like. So to be honest, it's doesn't matter much what exercise you do. Like if you do some sport, if you go to the gym, jogging, running, like whatever, right, really. So again, the most important is to do some activity. Let's talk about problems that we have when we don't do any activity. And right now, we have this modern problem of sitting the whole day. For example, in the office, like in front of computers. So we sit 8, 10 hours a day. So we have sedentary lifestyle for most part of the day, and it's not very healthy. So yeah. it increases our health. We have less blood flow because we just sit on the same place. It also influences our mind, so we think a bit worse, and yeah, it's not healthy in general. But what we can do, like, yeah, if we have jobs to do and stuff like that, so we can just walk around the whole day. Most of us can't. Yeah, so what we can do? Exercise next. 1 to 5 minutes of some activity. Uh, every 1 or 2 hours, yeah, would be perfect. So, for example, do some squats, push-ups, jumping jacks. Perfect. Like not a lot of space required. Pretty active to increase your heart rate, to move a bit. Just walking around, go up and down the stairs, so 1 or 2 floors up and down. Perfect. Like 30 seconds, 1 minute. Yeah, it takes from 1 to 5 minutes, yeah, to just do that. If you just walk, maybe like a bit more, because like push-ups is squats more vigorous activity, and walking is a bit lighter, but it's still like just a few minutes of walking. Yeah, and in general, daily activity, try to aim for 8 to 10,000 steps a day, or it can be one long walk or just some frequent walks, like 5-10 minutes each. Also fine, doesn't matter much. Also, yeah, try to do some activity where you can, so like stand or pace during phone calls, using stairs rather than elevators. So basically add those small batch of activities where you can throughout the day. So even like a few minutes here, a few minutes there, they will like 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, they will stack, and yeah, in the end of the week it will be like 1 hour more activity throughout the week, and it's quite a lot. Let's talk about longevity and health. So basically, why we do that, those activities, that exercise at all. Exercise is not just about weight. Fitness is a key factor. There were a lot of studies lately, and the highlight of those was that it doesn't matter what's your body weight. For example, if a person is normal weight or slightly overweight, the fitness was a key factor. So the biomarkers, yeah. So like how healthy, yeah, healthy a person is, like based on those biomarkers. So the fitness level was more important than like if the person was slightly overweight or not. So yeah, even if you have normal weight, you don't think you want to lose weight, exercise is still for you, so it will improve your health, help to improve your health. Yeah, and it's a bunch of studies, I think, yeah, that higher fitness level reduce the risk of premature death. So basically, the more fit you are, the better is your health, the better is your biological age, so you feel younger, so you can live longer. And physical activity can improve both physical and mental health. It's also a pretty good point. So exercise can help to improve your mood, your mental health throughout the day. Now let's talk about cardiovascular health and VO2 max. First of all, let's talk about what VO2 max is. It's maximum oxygen. To put it simply, just talk or when we exercise, yeah. But our body can't process all the air that we breathe. And when we do some vigorous activity, for example, running at high speed, or I don't know, cycling, stuff like that, VO2 max is the amount of oxygen that our body can process and use. And it's important. High VO2 max correlates with lower cardiovascular risk. So, but the higher this value of VO2 max, the better. And how to measure it? A bunch of options. First is the most strict one is the lab test. So basically, go to the lab, they put on some oxygen mask to calculate the amount of oxygen you breathe and the CO2 you breathe out, and it will give you quite precise VO2 max. But there are other different, not that correct, not that precise, yeah. So it could be like plus or minus 3 or 5 points. You'll see the table with points later, but still pretty good. It's smartwatches. For it, you just need one of the modern smartwatches, Garmin, Apple Watch, I think Xiaomi, Samsung, whatever, yeah. They pretty much all have VO2 max right now. For it, you just basically need to wear your watch, turn the heart rate monitor on, and just walk, as far as I remember, for like 15 minutes, or do some jogging, preferably outside, so it can track the distance and your heart rate during it, and it can give you more or less precise numbers. Not that precise as in lab test, yeah, but still pretty good. And there are also options like field test. It's Cooper test. Basically, it's pretty straightforward, that you run for 12 minutes and then you measure the distance that you ran. And there are a lot of online resources where you can just put the distance that you will to cover within 12 minutes, and it will just give you the approximate VO2 max. Yeah. But if you don't like running, or they just don't want to run for 12 minutes as fast as possible, just use smartwatches for like approximate prediction to understand like in what bracket are you. And here is the table with those brackets, right? Top table is for males and bottom one for female. The ages like 20, 29, 30, 39, and so on, up to 80 years old. Yeah. Just have a look of top numbers for your age and bottom numbers for your age. So like superior and poor numbers. And now we will talk why it's important. Okay, there are some limitations with VO2 max and why it's important. You've seen the numbers, and so usually they're like when you're in pretty good shape and you're younger, you're like about 50, have about 50s, high or low 50s, yeah, depending on your yeah, male or female. But after that, it slowly decreases. If you do some cardio activity, you can still improve it. We'll talk about that, but it still slowly decreases with age. And if it goes below 18 milliliter per kilogram per minute, it's how it's calculated in the point. So for either gender, it often suggests difficulty with everyday tasks. So basically, yeah, it can be hard to do some everyday things like go shopping, so like buy some groceries, go up the stairs, do some cleaning, I don't know, do some stuff around home. And yeah, even if you, for example, if you're in like low 20s or high 20s, when you get sick, your VO2 max drops quite significantly, usually about 5 or 10 points, could be even more. So for example, if you have like 22, 25 and you get sick, and it can drop to 18, and at this point it's already hard for you to just move around. So you need to keep it in mind as well. So ideally would be, even when you age, be like higher 20s, 30s, something like that. And there is a way to improve VO2 max, which is great. So improving aerobic fitness can raise VO2 max and make daily activities easier. And now let's talk about what you can do from cardio activity guidelines, what they suggest, and how to improve your VO2 max. Basically, there are two options for cardio activity. It's moderate activity, it's 50 to 70% of max heart rate. So for example, if your max heart rate, I don't know, in age 20 is 200, so it will be about 100, 130 beats per minute. And vigorous activity, it's a bit higher at 78 to 85% max heart rate. Yeah, what kind of activities could that be? So for moderate activity, suggested to do from 150 to 300 minutes per week. But yeah, it sounds a lot, but you really don't need to just spend the time in the gym, for example, because it can be just walking, maybe like brisk walking, so like walk at more higher pace, right? I don't know, walk with rucksack or something like that. Very light jogging, maybe very light cycling, swimming, but swimming can be also like in moderate and vigorous activity. So gardening, also like do some stuff with plants, flowers, like if you have them, it's also pretty good. It can be also moderate activity. So yeah, even like brisk walking, it's high chances you can do like 150 to 300 minutes per week. And there is vigorous activity. Suggested 75 to 150 minutes per week. It can be jogging a bit at more higher pace, like 8 kilometers per hour, but still not too fast. Cycling, swimming, rowing, like at not like all out, but at some pace. Yeah. So there are like some sports, maybe like tennis and things like that, some competitive sports. They also can be most of the time spent in vigorous activity. To be honest, from what's suggested is to do either moderate activity or vigorous activity. As you can see, it's like twice less time in vigorous activity. But ideally, would be just do either both of them or just like fully. So like 150 at least minutes and 70, 75 minutes at least for vigorous activity, or just mix them together. So do some moderate activity, do some vigorous activity. Yeah. But from my perspective, from how I feel is like you can do moderate activity pretty easily, yeah, because you can just brisk walk, for example, and then you can just add some vigorous activity, for example, jogging, cycling, something like that. And yeah, of course, consistency is key for boosting VO2 max and overall heart health. Now let's talk about training modalities: steady state versus HIIT. Steady state training is basically what we talked about. It's moderate intensity, so it's brisk walking, cycling, very light jogging. It builds an aerobic base and enhances recovery. And there is second type, high intensity interval training, which became popular lately. You can find a lot of YouTube videos with it. Like it's fairly simple, just write HIIT, and it's short bursts of exercise with recovery intervals. It's all usually 80 to 95% max heart rate. Efficient way to improve the max in less time, because usually it's faster. So for example, the whole workout for HIIT is like 15-20 minutes. You do circles of, for example, 20 seconds, do some high intensity exercise like jumping jacks, for example, then you rest for 10 seconds, then you do again 20 seconds, something else, and then rest for 10 seconds. It can be different intervals, but the general thing is simple, like that. And what's next? The next will be hypertrophy training, strength training, and injury prevention on the next meetup. And that's basically all. If you have any questions, please write. Okay, yeah, then that's all for today. Thank you everyone for joining, and have a nice evening.